What does it mean to pay yourself first? Well, we have a very different take on this, because how most people do it is you make a bunch of money, you pay yourself first, you go spend it on a lifestyle, and then you wonder why you don't have a balance sheet. You have no assets and a lot of liabilities. So let's break this down. We're going to talk about our definition of pay yourself first into a wealth building account. Second thing we're going to talk about, how traditional budgeting actually works against wealth building. They'll live within your means and stay small in budget. We don't do any of that. And number three, how to set up your finances in an automatic way. There's so many tools right now that you can just set it, not forget it, but set it and monitor it so it actually comes out. Every time you make money, a percent of it goes into another account and it's already been directed to invest. So why this is so critical is most people pay themselves first, meaning, oh, it's like a celebration. And I'm going to take the money, I'm going to go buy whatever you want to buy. Jewelry, cars, things that, you may or may not really need, more consumer-oriented things. Paying yourself first, millionaire maker style this way is also learning how to invest this way, which is wealth cycle investing, which is I want you to start really, really reading about assets, understanding assets. And I want you to dig into what real estate could do for you, what gas and oil could do for you, buying a franchise. I mean, I had a period of time between 2005 and 2008 where I would buy smaller little companies just to learn how to assess them, buy them, grow them, and then flip them back out. So I was really flipping small companies like a nail salon, a hair salon, a pizzeria, laundromats, like easy, simpler businesses. If you can't do that in a simple format, how are you ever going to grow a multi-million dollar one with a lot of moving parts and a lot of staff and employees? It's just a totally different game. Pay yourself first means in a wealth context is you're going to put money from your company. Now remember, your company has made money, it's taken off deductions, you pay tax later, afterwards. So inside of that, if you want to pay yourself first, I'm going to give you a software that I use implicitly. And I use it. My company makes money, and a percent of that every month without fail is automatically moved over to an iFlip account. So inside of iFlip, then you go into that and you put it into Smartfolio. So you can get the link to iFlip in the show notes below and at least start your first account. Now you can start a personal account. Your company should have an account. So if you don't have a company, you're going to get one if you really want to play the millionaire strategy and you want to activate the greatest tax code. So your company makes money and you're going to take a percent. So say you make $50,000 a month and your money rule is that you want to put 10% away into your own pay yourself first, or you want to put 20% away. So this number will start getting calculated more precisely as you organize your books, organize yourself, organize which company takes what deductions. The company makes money and then you pay yourself. By doing that, that creates a taxable event. So the company is going to pay itself and keep it in a capital account or a wealth building account for the company. It's not going to leave the EIN tax identification number because then you have a taxable event. You just reduced your total capital. So the company makes money. You activate all the deductions. One of those payments that you're going to put on auto to iFlip or something like it, which I don't think there's anything like it. It's an AI-driven software. You then select your folios and there's no fees or commissions. It's just a software that you pay a monthly fee for depending on how many accounts you have. Super cool. And it's automated, so you start putting the money away. As that money accumulates, you can do one of two things. You can keep it at iFlip, or you can actually pull it back into your operating account and you can loan it out. Like it could become a bank. So think about your cash machine being a bank. Say you've pulled back $50,000 and you're going to lend it to an LLC. That LLC is going to go buy real estate. Now your core operating active business is now funding other assets. And there is not a taxable event that happens yet because you're not taking it out of the EIN or the tax identification number. I know it's a little bit complicated for a lot of you, but we'll help you build into this structure. So as you make it, you're automatically investing on your core companies. And then you personally can have an iFlip account. You personally can have a Roth IRA, all the extra systems and foundational accounts that we want to put around you. So why the traditional budgeting models don't work is because it's just doing that. It's restrictive. It's actually just giving you a percent. What most people think about when they pay themselves first is they're paid into a W-2 paycheck. So let's just say you were paid $5,000 a month or $6,000 a month. So it's already been taxed to pieces. So now you got all that money. Then you pay yourself again into what? A savings account. You could do an iFlip account, but that is post the whole taxable event. We want you to actually start investing before you actually hit the tax, where it doesn't drop to your tax line. So be very mindful. There's an entire strategy to reset your foundation where your companies make the money, you activate deductions, you buy assets that have good depreciation schedules. You don't make a lot, but you're paying yourself first through the use of the corporate structure. While you're here at this channel, I want you to subscribe to the channel. I want you here 5 days a week. Click that notification button so it pops into whatever device you have every morning, 5 days a week. Invite 10, 15 people to this channel. In the show notes, I have 2 tickets to the Millionaire Intensive. I want to start teaching you corporate life. It's a phrase we came up with. How do you live corporate life and truly activate the greatest tax code so you have more of a prescription around this? So how do you set this up on automation? Again, we use iFlip as a community for the most part. Some of you might have just a money market account. I mean, if you use the traditional savings, that's okay, but you won't make as much in the interest. So you might as well put it in a place where you can have an auto, an ACH, an auto pay already set up that's going to move from one account to the other. What happens if you don't move it out of your core operating account in your active business? You tend to spend it. So we want to make sure there's a piece that's allocated for your wealth building and you're not pouring all your money back into your own company. That is a huge mistake that we've seen people make over their lifetime. They get to their 50s and 60s. Their companies are great, but they have no other assets. So to leave, because they can't rely on, say, real estate passive income, gas and oil passive income, there is no other passive income. They're having to continue to keep active business. It's rough. It's rough to live that way. That's why we don't do it, and we don't set you up to do it that way. Now, if you have any questions as you consume more and more of this content, go to askloral.com, ASKLORAL, ask a question, make a request. We'll be back tomorrow.